We're on. Good evening. This is the October 30th, 2024 meeting of the Newcastle Zoning Board of Appeals. And our first case is
Lano.
Thank you, Board. My colleague will share his screen. So I'm here representing Charles and Melissa Lano of 130 Roaring Brook Road. The property is a single family residence on a 2-acre lot in an R2A zone. The project involves the building of a covered and screened-in patio over an existing patio and the extending slightly of the patio to allow for a hardscape space to the right of the patio. We intend on building in keeping with the existing mid-century modern aesthetics of the existing building. We are requesting 2 variances, one for the side setback and the other for the overall development coverage. The allowable development coverage on this lot is 15,652, and we are requesting a variance of 3,537 square feet. Please note that the existing tennis court is 7,324 square feet and was built before the existing development coverage rules came into place. The proposed development coverage would be 19,189, an increase of 103 square feet from the existing development coverage. So an overall increase of 103 square feet, even though the variance is for 3,537. The allowable site setback, Harold, if you can zoom in to that area there. The allowable side setback is 45 feet. We are requesting a variance of 9 feet to bring the side setback to 36 feet. And that's really to allow a connection to the existing driveway so that you can walk from the driveway to the backyard. The property was previously subject to 2 zoning variances, one in 1974 for the driveway and one in 1980 for the tennis court. The one for the tennis court was a side setback variance because you can see the tennis court encroaches a bit onto the side setback as well. And to conclude, we feel our requests are in keeping with the spirit of the zoning resolution, and I look forward to any comments from the board.
okay. On the development coverage, is there any way whatsoever to reduce that requested variance, or can you explain to us why it's necessary to give you that extra 103 square feet?
The extra 100 square feet really comes from us wanting, Harold, if you can zoom in further into that area there, it's really to connect the driveway to the patio. Because we're not really looking for area overall, we're looking to kind of just connect those 2 spaces with that sliver and then to round it off. So potentially there is scope to reduce that hardscaped area, but we wanted to just make it orthogonal, kind of keep it in keep it very proper to the original design of the home.
Understood.
So the existing development coverage is pre-existing non-conforming.
Correct.
That's right. And then there's an influence. We get a problem offer a best price guarantee. Whether it's a first look or a second.
Who is that?
I don't know. Is there any perimeter around the tennis court that, like walking paths or something that could be reduced or
No, it's just
just pure tennis court?
yes, and let's see. Let's see if I can.
And what's the coverage of the existing concrete patio is what, like 103 square feet less than what you're proposing?
Yes, if Carline, can you go back to the existing or show the existing site plan, please? Or the existing survey. The existing patio extends into the yard a bit more, so we're taking that back. You'll see that in 1 second. So the existing patio has this bulbous thing that's extending out into the yard. So we're just about squaring it off with the back line of the house and taking that development coverage and moving it, in this case, up.
And it's still just that little sliver more than what's existing?
Yes, it's yeah.
So you're gonna bring a sidewalk down along the side of the house, is that the thing to connect it to the driveway?
Yes.
Yeah, and the width of that sidewalk is
I think it's only like 2 feet. It's
So
one
you
paver
can't-
long.
you can't go any, okay.
Yeah.
It's not extra wide where you could
No.
shave some off and
Yes.
give us a little help on that one.
Yes, we're conscious that we're asking for a variance for this. That's why we made it as
Okay,
as
sounds
small as.
So how deep is what you're proposing? Let's see, like you toggle back and forth again, so I see the
Yes. Carline, could you go
existing
back
and
to the
then the
existing?
proposed.
And the purpose of the building a new patio over instead of the existing patio is?
Well, we're putting a covered patio in the majority of where that existing patio is. And we'd like to have some just hardscaped exterior space if you want a barbecue or something similar.
So the old one's not covered, the new one's covered.
Correct.
Any other questions by the board?
No, sir.
Anybody in the audience or online that would like to address or comment on this application?
No hands are raised online.
No hands online, okay. In that case, I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Anybody like to make a motion or shall I do it?
You take the first step.
Alright, I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion that the application of Charles Lano and Louis Oppenheim for the development coverage variance that's going to total out at 19,189 square feet, which is a variance of 3,537 square feet, and for side yard setback variance of 9 feet, which is due to the fact that 45 feet are required and they're gonna give us 36 feet for their patio. I'll make a motion that that application be approved for the following reasons. This is a little strange shaped lot, it's got some weird angles to it, it gives it kind of restricts what can be done there, any reasonable changes to it are gonna require some help from the board. The development coverage is due to an extra long driveway, which is not the fault of the applicant, but the fault of the property layout. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There is no other method other than granting these variants to achieve the benefit requested by the applicant. while this may sound like a substantial variance, in this particular instance, it's not considered, in my estimation, to be substantial. There'll be no adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. While this is somewhat a self-created hardship, the benefit to the applicant will far outweigh any perceived detriment to the town or the neighborhood. And do we just need an as-built on this? You don't need any surveys before they start the patio work, do you, Tom?
When completed, a final survey.
Final, okay. Subject to a final survey upon completion, you'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish.
1 year to finish after the 6 months as
Correct.
1
Once
year
you've
from.
got 6 months to start going, once you start, you have a year to finish.
Thank you.
Okay?
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Damiano.
I don't know if I should just start.
Yeah, give us your name and what it is that you seek.
Yep, so Mark Damiano, I'm at 1 Main Street, Kisco Park, in Mount Kisco. About a year ago, I had gotten a variance for a shed that we had put in our front yard. Just working with the town, I think that I got my wires crossed. I asked for the wrong variance distance, so I've amended my application or submitted a new one. With the correct variance distance. The shed is installed, it's in substantially the same spot that I had originally proposed, just asked for the wrong distance of the variance.
How wrong was the distance?
That I'm not 100% sure. I know that the distance I've requested now is the correct one.
Okay. Okay. So it seems to me that you came to us in July of 2023. You were looking for a side yard setback variance of 13 feet.
Right.
Okay, because 40 feet are required and 27 is what you were asking for. You're now asking where the 40 feet is required for a 4.7 side yard setback, which is a 35.3 feet variance. That's pretty extensive. Give us the reasons why you think we should grant for something like that.
Yeah, so like just the nature of the way that my house is oriented on the property, and the various slopes, there is really no other place to put this shed. That wouldn't either put it smack in the middle of my yard, and there really is no other place to put it in the backyard that wouldn't, I guess, require a very similar variance. And even then, it would still be even worse. Like I don't think that there's any other place to put it without just basically destroying the use of my front yard, which would be unfortunate. So this was the area that we had plotted and originally submitted for. Again, I had stood on the edge of the road, and I guess it's supposed to be the edge of the property line adjacent to that road.
Okay. So you can, just for the record, so that everybody knows what's happening, your shed location, where it is now, is along the edge of the road, and the nearest house from you across the street would be what? Is there anything nearby to you that would be affected by that?
No, and it hasn't. I mean, it's been in place since just after the original variance was granted, and it hasn't affected anybody or anything. Yeah.
Have you had any input, pro or con, from your neighbors?
Actually, the neighbors who are right next to us when we put it in had said how nice it looked because they wanted to do something similar, and they came down and looked at it and liked it. But nobody else is disturbed. There's really only one neighbor that could be disturbed by it, and they were the ones who liked
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience that'd like to address this application or anybody online?
No hands are raised.
Board have any questions?
No, sir.
No.
Okay, in that case, I'll move we close the public hearing.
Second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Poland.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Enjoy.
I make a motion, wait, my phone keeps going off there. I make a motion, that we grant, Mark Damiano, a front yard variance, in the amount of 35.3 feet. Should we run that out? I guess it's already in place.
Yeah, it's there.
35.3 feet. The house is located on hilly land. There is no other location except perhaps the middle of the backyard where it would be able to go. This is a situation where the board granted a variance in 2023 where the applicant provided the incorrect amount of feet for the variance due to an error he made in measuring. So he's now back in front of the board to correct that problem. The shed is already, this is his first shed, the shed is already installed, and the only feedback from the neighbors is that they like the shed. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. And it is the nearby property that complemented him on the shed look. The benefits sought by applicants cannot be achieved by any other feasible method due to the topography of the land. The crested variance is substantial, but again, there seems to be no other location for the shed. It will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environmental conditions in the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who are present who have written in opposition. It is a self-created hardship in the respect that it is not an absolute necessity to have a shed, but in this case, it seems to be reasonable. Therefore, I move we grant the variance. Tom, do we need anything with this?
Already submitted, sir.
Okay.
We're all set. I'll second that.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Carline.
Hello,
Can you tell us your name and what it is that you seek?
Joseph Carline, the owner of 280 South Bedford Road. Here seeking a variance for two large issues and sort of two minor issues that go along with those two larger issues. We purchased the property in August of 2024, so we've been there for about 6 weeks. Purchased the property with two existing non-conforming issues in the property structures. One is a shed and one is a patio. We're seeking a variance for an existing non-conforming patio. We're also proposing to remedy an encroachment of the existing shed by relocating the shed off of the neighbor's property onto our property in a better location. At the best, most reasonable location, given the shape and configuration of the lot. The encroaching fence, which is adjacent to that shed, which is the minor issue, will also be removed and brought onto our property. We've received a letter of no objection from the abutting neighbor, the one who's most affected, who's the shed sits on their property. Their names are Peter Martin and Kendall Sandlin. The proposed location seen on the plan that we've submitted is on the side of the driveway, nearest the garage, because of the flat grade that exists on that side of the driveway. And the proximity to the side of the garage is makes the shed the most functional that it can possibly be. The house is oriented perpendicular to the road, which is sort of unique. It's a very long, skinny lot. not be a conforming lot in today's zoning requirements. So the rear yard is technically the side yard, and that rear yard is functionally non-usable, and it's not a great place for a shed. It is very steep and it drops off in the back into the creek, which runs along the side of Town Hall here as well. Basically, by moving the shed to what is the front yard and close to the property line, it allows us to actually use the shed functionally. The house has no basement and has no attic, so the garage becomes the storage area for the shed, for the stuff that we use every day, and the shed becomes the garage storage for tools and such, so it's good to have it near the garage. So that's in a nutshell the too big and too small issues that we're dealing with.
Do we have a copy of your neighbor's letter of no objection?
I believe you do,
Do
it's
we
in
have
the
that?
file.
Okay, I don't remember seeing it. Oh, yeah, great.
Can you show the pictures?
I should also mention the proposed location is about 160 feet from the road. We have a very long lot.
Right.
And this is the view from the middle of the driveway facing, we're back to the road facing the garage.
I can scroll down for you too, there's more pictures.
This is the existing shed. This is a view from what is the sort of rear of the house towards the shed, towards the road. South Bedford is way in the distance there, and this is towards the back of the property, towards the creek. So this is the existing patio. It's a sort of two-part patio. One part has a small wall, which is about 18 inches high, and the other portion is completely at grade, this cobblestone area. So that cobblestone, if you scroll back one picture,
Right.
We would be reducing the size of the cobblestone with this, with the moving of the shed. There you go. So that little path that goes to the shed would also be removed. So we'd be reducing that area just because it would go nowhere. Those are the extent of the issues.
Okay. Comments from the board?
Just, I missed the very first sentence, so
Sure.
I think you said that you bought the house with all this was in place as was, and
Bought it as is, yeah.
did the title company pick that up, or?
Yeah, it came, in the municipal search it came up.
Okay. Okay,
Anybody in the audience or online that would like to comment on this application? No hands are raised. Any other questions from the board?
no, sir.
I'll move, we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Cameron Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay. I'll make a motion. You wanna do it, or you want me to do it?
I don't care, whatever you want.
You do it.
Okay,
You're on a roll.
I make a motion that we, let me just get this right. Grant a side yard variance in the amount of 15 feet for a patio, or to make a patio consistent with local requirements. Then a variance of 20.6 feet for a side yard setback for the patio, same patio. Yeah.
Right.
And then an 18-foot variance for a shed, side yard variance for a shed. For the following reasons, the Carline, right, I was wrong first. The Carlines purchased this house, and the title company picked up the fact that there were two non-conforming entities on the property, and they are here to make their property legal. In one case, the shed is being moved, and in the other case, the patio is being reduced in size. There is no other place to put the shed because of the hilly terrain at the property. And the need for the shed is that they don't have an attic or a basement in the house, so they need storage, the garage, they use the garage, and then the shed is needed for that. So with that, I would say that the granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The benefits sought by the applicants cannot be achieved by any other feasible method due to the topography of the land. The requested variances together are substantial, but due to the unique shape of the property and their need for a shed, there is no other feasible way to do this. It will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who are present or have written in opposition to the variance. Technically, I suppose it is self-created in the respect that that it is there and they could feasibly remove the components. But due to the fact that they purchased this house and this was done by the previous owner, I would consider that to be a non-issue. Therefore, I move we grant the variance. Tom, and what do we need in this?
Final survey, please.
Okay, we'll need a final survey, and then you have not begun to move the shed yet, correct? Right, so we would want 6 months to start and a year to finish.
I'll second that.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
We have your variance. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
11.
Hey everyone,
Aye.
we're representing 288 Schwarz. Shouldn't share my screen. Can everyone see my site plan?
Yes.
Okay, I'm the architect representing 288 Schwarz. We're seeking a variance for a 2 front yard setback for an existing non-conforming structure. It's an existing pergola with a small garden bed. The current owners previously purchased the house a few months back. The structure was existing. It's something that they would like to keep. So we're hoping that you could grant us the variances.
Are you making any changes to the existing structure?
The only changes we plan to make, which we've already received the permit from the building department, is to modify the portico of the house, the primary structure, but nothing is being changed on the pergola.
And the pergola is where you're looking for your variance, so you're leaving it exactly as it is. How long has it been in place before, from the former owner, do you know?
We have no idea. No, the building inspector mentioned that he knows it's in there for quite some time. I guess just in passing, seeing it there,
Okay.
but nothing on record as far as we know.
Any other questions for the board? Any comments, questions? Anybody in the audience or online who'd like to address this application?
Just a quick, so there's 2 front yard requests variance with the same builder?
One is for the pergola, the patio.
Oh, okay.
So I could zoom in here just to want to get a better look. So essentially, there's another street that wraps around here, so it's essentially 2 front yards.
2 front yards,
Yeah.
okay, that's what
Yeah.
I was curious
Yeah,
about,
so the
okay.
setback is 75 feet, which you can see here is dashed.
Right.
So we're way within that front yard.
Right, got it, okay.
Okay, no other questions? I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You wanna do one?
Okay, this is an application for 2 front yard setback variances to allow a decorative pergola with a gravel set patio to remain in its current location. The required front back setback for the Hayes Cross Road is 75 feet, and the proposed front yard setback is 53 feet for a requested variance of 22 feet. The second front yard setback for Hayes Cross Road, which is in the denial letter listed as close, so there's one and then another. The requested variance is 59 feet. The required setback is 75 and the proposed is 16 feet. And this is a motion to grant the variances for the following reasons. First, the granting of the variances will not create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. In fact, actually, the applicant indicates that this is how the house was purchased and it has been this way for some time. So there would be no change there. Can the benefit be sought by some other method? No, because they're looking to keep it as is. So they're really, as I see it, there's no other way. Is the requested variance substantial? I guess you could say, in a nominal sense, yes, but given all of the other surrounding circumstances, outside of just a pure calculation, I would say no. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? I guess you could make that argument, but essentially this is the way the house has been for quite some time. This is how it was purchased, and this is just the applicant trying to make the existing situation compliant with our local zoning laws. So I don't see an issue there either. What does the town require, if anything, given it's existing?
The documents have already been submitted.
Okay, and since it's a current situation that's just being remedied, I don't see that there is any time frame that has to be put on this either. So for those reasons, I would ask for a second on this motion.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Jen Zeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, thank you. Good luck.
you.
Gunnar?
That's all from me as well. So again, for the record, Mark Manager Architect representing 2 Hemlock Hills. We're seeking a variance for the development coverage. There's 3 areas of work here. One is the main entrance. We're looking to remove a large portion of the impervious areas, which you can see here in the dash area. That's one area. The second area is on the side of the house, which there's a small wall, some steps, and then walkways. And then the third area is a patio in the rear of the house. We're looking to reduce the amount of impervious surface with a new patio in the rear, new stepping stones on the side of the house, and a new walkway in the front, which you can see here. So this significantly brings down the amount of impervious surface. We'll have some flower beds aligning the stepping stones leading to the main entrance. Same concept on the north elevation. And then a stone patio at the east elevation, which is approximately 100 square feet smaller than the existing patio. So currently, the development coverage permitted is 8,925. The existing house is at 11,754, and with the modifications that we're making, it brings it down to 10,317. It's a tricky site because there's a very large switchback driveway. The house is perched up pretty high up from the road. And by shrinking the driveway, we just reduce the amount of turnaround room for a vehicle. And this was sort of the best thing that we could do without really eliminating the rear patio and all of the walkways that are required to lead to each of the entrances of the home. Also, we've also been before the ARB and they have granted approval for the design.
And the switchback driveway is because the steepness of the property, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
The driveway is switchback because the property is steep?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the driveway's always existing, but we kind of looked at it in terms of like how could we get more, bring the number down, but it just seems like the driveways was really driving it to be such a high number.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't have any comments on this one. Does anybody else have anything to clear up or questions? Anybody online or in the audience that would like to address this application?
All hands are raised.
No hands are raised. This is easy. I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay. I'll take it. Okay. I'll make a motion that the Gunnar application for 1,392.46 square feet development coverage variance be approved for the following reasons. While this sounds like a huge ask, given the conditions of the property and the steepness of the slope, and the fact that the property is already existing over coverage and the applicant is not increasing that over coverage but reducing it to as much as reasonably possible. This to me is a reasonable request and I believe, and I will say, that the granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, as it has been there already. It hasn't done any damage to the character, and they're reducing it, which will even make it even better for the neighborhood. There is no other method other than the variance to achieve the desired end due to the fact that the property is on a steep slope, has an extremely long driveway requiring a switchback to enable them to access their garage area. While you might say this is a substantial variance, if you look at the numbers, it's only 16%, which in my estimation is not substantial. There would be no adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. While this is a self-created hardship, the benefit to the applicant will far outweigh any perceived detriment to the town or the neighborhood. And you'll need some as-built on that, Tom?
Yes, sir, final
Okay.
survey.
We'll need final surveys after the completion of the additions to the and subtractions from the patio area. And you'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Have a good evening.
Schwarz.
The Schwarz applicant is here or not?
Yeah.
Okay,
Not broadcasting.
not broadcasting. How do we get them to start? I'm not an electronic genius here.
Is he?
Vendors need plumbing.
I can, this is
I'm trying to
I
speak.
can send him a message. Is he actually speaking? and we
He
can-
said, he wrote a little message saying, I'm trying to speak.
Oh,
Oh,
alright, let me come back.
Could be the microphone on this side.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sorry, webcam issues. Okay, much better. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Michael Schwarz for 34 Indian Hill Road. My wife and I closed on the property in the beginning of May, and we upgraded the previous owner's HVAC system to be heat pumps, so we got rid of their oil. And with that and 2 young children, we want to install a whole house generator in case of emergencies. We met with 3 generator companies and decided on the best spot to put it, which wouldn't interfere with our children's yard and our dog's yard, is the side of the house. Our side variance is requested at 10 feet. Right now, from the adjacent property line to the house, there's only 35 feet available, and that's the current variance allowed in order to install a generator. So we're looking for a setback. So we're looking for a 10-foot variance in order to install the generator. It would not diminish any visibility from our neighbors or from the road. We also, in the packet that we submitted, have a letter of support from the adjacent property line, as it is in the back of their property and it's completely covered by trees.
Okay. And the reason the generator is located there is because of your convenience or because of proximity to electrical service wires, or why was that decided to be the best choice?
It's because of the topography of the land and also the ability for the propane company to have the 100 feet necessary to fill up the tanks that we're gonna have to get installed to power the generator. Because if we went any further back to like the tree area behind our porch, we wouldn't be able to fill the propane tanks.
Understood, for the record. I'm not having any problem with this one.
No.
Anybody on the board, any questions or concerns? No. Anybody in the audience or online that would like to address this application, pro or con?
No hands are raised online.
Nobody up there, no hands are raised, okay. I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
I can take it.
Okay.
I would like to address the variance request from Michael Schwarz at 34 Indian Hill Road. He's requesting a 10-foot side yard variance to install a generator. They've had 3 generator companies in to survey the property. All 3 have recommended that this is the best spot for the generator, primarily because the propane company, in order to fill the tanks, this is the best spot, and if they cannot go any deeper into the property, or else the propane company cannot fill the tanks. There is a letter of support from the closest neighbor that would see this generator. They also, in addition, want to make sure that they keep their property available for their kids and dog. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment, and he mentioned that the generator will be screened by shrubs. The benefit sought by the applicants is best achieved by this method. There could be another feasible method, but this is the best choice to locate the generator. The requested variance is not substantial. It will not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical and environmental conditions of the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who are present, but there is a neighbor that has written in favor of this. The hardship is potentially self-created in the respect that they could have possibly moved the generator in another location, but as we've heard, that really isn't possible. And again, there are no neighbors who are written in opposition to it, so therefore I make a motion that we grant the variance.
What needs the as-built?
We're gonna need an as-built survey, and 6 months to start, 1 year to finish.
Please.
I'll second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Chuck?
The applicant know that we're all set.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have your variance, good luck, thank you. You're all set. I don't think you can.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mary.
Good evening, I'm Mary Scott, the architect representing Karen Chuck. The Chuck property, which I'm gonna pass this down, it's in quarter acre zoning, it's got 2 fronts, it's on a corner. And we are looking for a variance in order to build a screen porch. So the we meet the front yard and 1 side yard setback, but because we have 2 fronts, the rear yard is non-conforming. The setback in quarter acre zoning is 35 feet and what we are proposing is 26 feet, so we need a variance of 9 feet. The design of the porch is in keeping with the house. It's kind of giving a one-story piece where the garage is on the other side is a one-story piece. We feel it's in balance and will be a welcome addition to the neighborhood.
Okay. The porch that you're talking about, is it already existing and you're just gonna screen it in, or you're building a
No.
whole new structure?
It's all new. Right now, there's just a gravel sort of patio.
Foundation or on piers or what?
We're building it on piers.
Piers, okay, just for the record.
Okay.
Have you gotten any feedback from the immediate neighbors to this?
We have not. And the fact is, the neighbor most affected, there's a lot of heavy screening, probably doesn't even realize that that would be considered a rear setback.
Alright. I really have no problem with this
I'll go
one.
with that.
Anybody on the board have any questions or problems with this one? Down here, no? Is there anybody in the audience or online that would like to address this application? Nobody. Okay. I'll move, we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Okay, I'll make a motion that the application of Karen Chuck for the construction of a new screened-in porch be approved for the following reasons. The Brook Lane area is an older subdivision in town. Many of the houses have been upgraded to comply or the needs of the modern families. We have granted variances in this area because of the fact that these are small lots and they need variances to create a situation where a modern lifestyle can be achieved and enjoyed by the applicants. This particular request for a screened-in porch is not a very substantial ask, given what the rest of the houses in the neighborhood look like. There have been no neighbors that have written in opposition to this request. The granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. There's no other method to achieve this application, excuse me. There's no other method to achieve the benefits other than granting the variance. This is not a very substantial variance, given the fact of the lot sizes in the neighborhood. There'll be no adverse effect on the physical and environmental condition of the neighborhood. Again, while this is a self-created hardship, the benefit to the applicant will far outweigh any perceived detriment to the town or the neighborhood itself. We will need a foundation, well, we need a survey on the piers before you construct, and final survey upon completion. And you'll have 6 months to start and 1 year to finish.
Okay, thank you.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Losing my voice here.
Don't lose your mind.
I already lost that a long time ago. Okay, you have your variance, Mary, good luck.
Thank you. I'm here for the next one too.
Buckle house.
Ruggles House, right?
Go to the south.
So Ruggles House property, it's kind of an unusual subdivision on Quaker Road. It was 4 cottages built in the 1930s with a driveway coming in off Quaker Road and then a parking circle. They're all undersized, they all require variances for just about everything, but they're very cute. And so what we'd like to do is only 1,200 square feet. We're looking to take down a screen porch, not a screen porch, an open porch, and put in a dining room and a mudroom. So because of the configuration of the lot and the way it hits the other properties, we need a front yard setback, which is actually the dividing line between this lot and the one next door. And that is the front yard, and this is half acre zoning, so it's more restrictive than the last one. So required front yard setback is 50 feet, we are requesting 47 feet, so we need a variance of 3 feet. Then in the rear, we need 40 feet, we're requesting 35 feet, and so we need a variance of 5 feet. And then on top of that, we need a development coverage variance because the parking circle, as you can see in the drawing, actually impinges on all the properties. So it adds to our coverage as well as the driveway going in. So although it doesn't seem like it would be restrictive, it is, we're over the coverage. But only 183 feet.
We're familiar with that area, we've done work in there before, and I know.
Yeah, I lived in one of the cottages for a few months and yeah, I worked on 3 others.
Mark Kilson.
And no neighbor comments on this either? Like,
No,
I know
matter
they're
of
all
fact, the
very
next door
close.
neighbor is Gray and Marion Williams, the village historian, and they're thrilled, so.
Okay, I'm on board with this, I don't.
And there's Kathy. She's watching.
Okay, Warren? Anything?
Yeah, I'm fine. I did notice one thing in the application, which I assume is just a typo, just asking if the proposed action is permitted use under the zoning regulations. It says no, assuming that's a mistake.
Which section is that in?
That's on it's on page 2 of the short form environmental assessment. Number 5.
Could very well be a mistake.
I'm assuming it's a typo because it is permitted.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, it is permitted as
Yeah,
far as
for the
I'm
record, it's permitted, yeah.
It's my least favorite form.
Anybody on this side have additional comments or concerns? No. Anybody in the audience or online would like to address this application? No hands raised. I move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Anybody you gonna take it, if not?
If I don't lose my voice, I'll take it.
I'll take it on.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm having a problem with that.
I hear. No problems tonight. I move that we consider the variance for Catherine Ruckle House at 378 Quaker Road. This is a very complex area in Chappaqua, which I'm very familiar with. They require a variance of 3 feet for the addition of a mudroom. They require a variance of a rear yard variance of 5 feet for a dining room, and 183 square feet development coverage. Development coverage is 4,490 square feet, which is probably less than most of the houses in town. This is a very, very tight area. It's an unusually constructed area of town. I can't think of another area like it, but it is a cute little area. With that, the granting of this variance will not create an undesirable change in the character of this neighborhood. In fact, it looks like it will add to the character or detriment to nearby properties. The benefits sought by the applicants cannot be achieved by any other method given the constraints of the location and the property. The requested variances are not substantial, and again, in this area, every foot seems to be a very important foot. It would not have an adverse effect or impact on the physical environment conditions in the neighborhood. There are no neighbors who are present or have written in opposition. Essentially, it is potentially self-created hardship, but the benefit to the applicants will far exceed the hardship that the self-created hardship. Therefore, I move we grant the variance. And Tom, what do we need here?
Final survey, sir.
Final survey and 6 months to start, year to finish.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good
Thank you
luck.
very much.
You're welcome.
Pergola?
Good evening, Board of Damiano from Community Designs and Engineering. We are proposing a one-story addition to the front yard and as well as a portico at 30 Orange Lane. This site is situated in an R1A zoning district, so with respect to the front yard setback, which is what we were asking for variance for, both the one-story addition and the portico, it is an existing non-conforming condition where required is 60 feet and the existing dwelling is 49.7, so obviously once we do any type of extension there, we need a variance. So the existing home is fairly small house for that area, it's a 1 acre lot zoning, but this is a half an acre. And the applicant really wishes to create a better entryway, so when you walk in, the staircase is kind of an odd sort of condition, but the staircase is literally right in front of you and it doesn't really go up towards the back, it goes on an angle. So there's also the chimney there, so to really rework the staircase and the chimney is very extensive. So obviously along with aesthetically updating the home, doing this addition, I just go to the elevations. So making a better entryway, really we're just coming out 3.5 feet with that sort of entry and then creating a little covered portico platform. As you see here, the existing house really just has, nothing aesthetically going on to it, and we'll also be able to shift the door over to the center of the home, centering it on that proposed addition and portico, really creating some better symmetry. Obviously, the existing, the proposed addition will be conforming to other, neighboring residents. As you can see, the house to the left is a fairly large home, but that does have an open portico in the front, as well as the dwelling to the right of this proposed home has also a portico. So it will be within keeping of the character of the neighborhood, and obviously won't really be any detriment to any nearby homes because they are fairly spaced out pretty far from each other, and it's a fairly small addition in the front.
And the construction of the new portico, is that in conjunction with other work that's being done in the house? Are you doing it, you doing other work there too?
No, other than just the front addition and portico.
Just the front addition,
Is
okay.
basically together as one, this is the addition and the portico is the same roof,
Okay.
same,
I thought there was something else going on there, but I guess I'm thinking of something else, another property.
Okay,
Okay, no problem.
So are you moving the front door? I'm a little confused.
Yeah, so if you look here, the
Yeah.
front door is off to the left side, so see how it's off to the left side,
Uh-huh.
once we do this addition, it does get.
So it's really fractional.
Pretty much, yeah, I think it's like a foot or something, and it'll be off. Once it moves over, then it kind of sort of gets centered.
It's a lot of work for a foot.
I'm sorry?
That's a lot of work for a foot.
Yes, yeah. Well, no, I mean, the real work is the portico, the addition, but then
Right,
obviously getting the door center
right.
will only help that.
Got it. Looks nice.
Anybody else?
Just, is this existing non-conforming? I missed that part. It
Yeah,
is-
so
it is, okay.
the front setback is existing
I
non-conforming.
thought you had said that, so I just, yep, got it, thank you.
Ron? Kathleen? Okay. Anybody in the audience or online that would like to address this application? No hands raised. I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordino.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
I'll take this one.
Warren's gonna take
Okay.
it. Oh, sorry.
No, you wanna take it, Ron?
Ron's gonna take it.
I'll make a motion
We all get a chance.
for 30 Barnes Lane to approve a front yard setback of 13 feet for the front addition, and also a front yard variance of 19 feet for a portico with stairs is being installed. The applicant's request, it will not produce an undesirable change in the neighborhood, actually just the opposite. It's gonna improve the overall look of the front of the house. It will be a benefit to the owner as far as the people coming in and out with the portico, which would be covered unlike what they have currently. The request is not substantial. It's more from the outside, more cosmetic, and is not taking any additional significant amount of footage in the front. The proposed variance, they will not have an adverse effect on the physical nature of the environment, environmental conditions, or in the neighborhood or district. This is a self-created difficulty. However, I think the benefit to the applicant and benefit to the overall look of the neighborhood far outweighs that. So we don't need any.
Foundation survey and a final survey.
Okay, foundation survey and final survey.
6 months to start.
6 months to start, 1 year to finish.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
McAvoy?
Bill Spade, architect, representing the owner, Bob McAvoy, and Bob is on the Zoom call here. I'll hand you a couple of documents. I think we'll just pass them down. There's a aerial view of the property where this garage that's the subject of what we're talking about is circled, survey, and a couple of photographs of that. So this is a property on Kip Street. What we're doing is legalizing a finished second floor of an already existing two-level, two-story garage building. The original house was built in 1850, small 1,500 square foot house. Property is about 1.4 acres in a half-acre zone. Back in 2009, we completed this new two-level garage, and the second level was unfinished at that time, and it was subsequently finished, and now we're needing to legalize that. The garage itself sits within the front yard setback. The requirement's 50 feet. The garage is 22.1 feet from the front property line, so we, at the time, in 2009, got the variance of 27.9 feet for constructing the garage. Now, since we're changing the use from unfinished to finished for the second level, we also need to get a variance for that change of use. So it's the same variance as previously, no change to the outside of the building, just the finishes on the interior of the second level. May not be anything else I need to tell you. You see the photographs of the building, we have plans here. Tom has been to the building, seen the conditions of it, a couple of things we have to do construction wise. We already have the survey from before showing where the building is sited. think that neighbors have obviously been notified, the owners have not gotten any comments from any neighbors. Building's been there for 15 years now, so again, no change in the building. So again, requesting the front yard variance for legalizing the second floor space.
And what is this second floor area proposed to be used for?
It's a home office.
Home office.
That's what its use has been since it got finished in roughly 2010. It was a office space. The house itself, as described, is very small, old, lots of small rooms, and so the owner needed an office space and converted that second level to this office use.
So is there plumbing in there as well?
No plumbing.
No plumbing. Is it
Open
obviously
space.
heating?
It's heated.
Okay.
But that's all. It's one big open space
Okay.
there.
What I'm driving at is if there's plumbing there, we wanna know if it's going to become an accessory apartment.
Right.
And
No.
that opens up another bunch of questions.
Sure. Right.
But, if it's just for home office,
Right.
sounds
Yeah, Tom's seen that. There's no other room,
For the record, we
subdivided
need to
within
get this in, Bill, you know that.
it. That's right.
Just to state the obvious, this already happened, so you're just legalizing it.
Correct.
Board, any questions, comments?
My only question is, I'm sure you know the answer to this, is there was a wetlands permit that was issued
Right.
in connection, and that just extends, there's no issue with that extending?
But no, we're not doing any exterior work, so that no wetland permit is required. Right.
Kathleen, you okay? Yep. Alright. Anybody in the audience or online that would like to speak to this application? No hands raised. I move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You wanna take the floor and take it?
Okay, thank you.
To make a motion with respect to the application for 33 Kip Street, brought by McAvoy. This is an application to alter the use of an existing legal non-conforming garage to create a habitable space on the upper level of the structure. It's a requested variance of 28 feet to the front yard setback. It's currently, the front yard setback is 50 feet. The existing proposed front yard setback is 22, so the requested variance would be 28 feet. And I would move that we approve the variance for the following reasons. One, the granting of the variance will not create an undesirable change to the character of the neighborhood. The structure has been there for some time. This is just legalizing the use. And there do not appear to be in the record any complaints as to the structure itself, and it seems like just given the history of the age of the home, this was something that was a benefit to the neighborhood. Can the benefit be achieved by some other method? No, because this is a legalization of the use, so there's really no other way to deal with this other than a variance. Is the variance substantial? In nominal terms, perhaps, but looking at it, not really. I would say arguably not. Will there be an adverse effect on the physical environment or conditions of the neighborhood? Absolutely not. This is a benefit to the neighborhood as I see it. Is the alleged difficulty self-created? It is in that you didn't have to go and do this, but again, the benefit that has been created by doing this certainly outweighs any other factor here. Certainly outweighed by the benefit to the community. Other than that, Tom, is there anything that you would need here, given that this is existing?
It has already been submitted, sir.
Okay, so other than that, I would ask for a second on the motion to approve the variance.
Second. I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You have your variance, good
Thank
luck.
you very much.
Take care.
Have a good evening.
Okay, Bob Campbell. Full page, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members members of the board, staff, Brad Schwarz from Zarin Steinmetz representing the applicant. I'm joined by Peter Gregory, project engineer, Douglas DeBoer, Reja Bach are on screen, as is Steve Coleman, the wetland consultant on the project. So hopefully you've had a chance to review our comprehensive submission. We know this is a challenging site, DEC wetlands, town wetlands, access over a private right of way. We've been at this, members of the board, for almost 2 years in terms of pre-application discussions with staff, planning board, ERB, DEC and DOH. Pleased to report that DEC has issued its wetland permit. We have a public hearing with the planning board next week. And so we are here tonight before your board to advance an application for 4 variances. 3 of which are all kind of in the same nature of front yard setback variances. As Peter will show you, those are necessitated in order to move the house as far away as possible from jurisdictional wetlands. As a result, the house is closer to the right of way, the Chappaqua Swim and Tennis Club right of way, than the setback otherwise allows. So there's 3 front yard setback variances for different improvements within the setback area. The 4th and final is a town law 280A variance because access is over a private right of way, again owned by the neighboring Chappaqua Swim and Tennis Club. So 2 years in, we're excited to be here, and I'll turn it to Peter and Stephen to walk your board through the plan.
Good evening, Peter Gregory with DTS Provident, project engineer. So basically we'll just kind of go through some of our slides, just giving everybody a sense of what's existing right now. Existing home looking in a southerly direction at 1015 Scrabble Road. We are looking to remove this dwelling and relocate it to the northern mid portion of the property.
I just wanted to interrupt, Brad, not relocate it. I heard you say, no, we're gonna tear this down and build a new home.
No.
Understood.
So we're very close to the road here. We're about we range between 3 and 10 feet off of the property line. And there really isn't any access for driveway. The house was originally built very close to a brook that runs right along the rear of that. And this is what we're looking to create from the front at on our access off of the Swim and Tennis Club's driveway, which would be the front of the house. This gives a general idea of where the property is, 1015 Hardscrabble Road. We're on the east side of Hardscrabble Road, just at the entrance to the Swim and Tennis Club. We're south of Deep Woods and Campfire Road. And to the south of the site, it is constrained with wetlands. The brook is running parallel with Hardscrabble Road in a southerly direction, just behind the house. And if you can make it out, just in the mid portion is where we would be looking to construct the new dwelling. This gives us an indication of the constraints on the site. The large DEC wetlands to the south, the watercourse running parallel with Hardscrabble from north to south, discharging into the wetland area. And to the north, up in the northern east corner off-site, there is another wetland area. The area that's in beige, brownish beige, is the area that is that's regulated as our wetland buffer, both locally and with the state. And there's only a small portion of the property that is not located within a buffer. This is our proposed layout showing the new home accessed off of the Swim and Tennis Club driveway. We will have our access coming in from the driveway. Our septic system is located just to the rear of the house off the right-hand corner below the driveway. And we do have a water service connection that's going to be proposed to serve the dwelling that's going to be coming off Hardscrabble Road, running along the driveway and into the site. This was done to minimize the impact and disturbance to both the watercourse and to the wetland area, where the current service connection coming into the existing home is right down in this area. We were avoiding crossing through there, and that was a recommendation, a suggestion by both the town and New York State DEC to minimize that disturbance. Stormwater runoff generated from the site, from the driveway and from the roof will be captured and conveyed through a stormwater infiltration system at the front of the property adjacent to the driveway, and then overflowing, connecting to a rain garden prior to it discharging off the site. And this is the mitigation plan that's being proposed as a result of the disturbance of the buffer, and I would let Steve Coleman discuss that with you.
Let me just stop sharing.
Good evening. The purpose of the mitigation plan is really to try to replace and restore as much of the buffer area as feasible. As Peter indicated, the existing residents created to try to attempt to restore that would require extensive disturbance to the wetland directly. And the alternative that we presented was approved by New York State DEC. And we also met with the Environmental Review Board with the town of Newcastle, and they also endorsed the new location as they felt that it was a better location that removes disturbance as far as away from the wetland as feasible on the property. And the mitigation is designed to really work on improving water quality functions and reducing the amount of nutrients that may come from the disturbance of creating a new residence. So we've added an extensive combination of native trees, shrubs, and ground covers that will assist with protecting the wetland and then also provide functional value and habitat for resident wildlife that are associated with the Turner Swamp. But our mitigation plan and the tree replacement plan are consistent with the criteria both of New York State DEC and then also the town of Newcastle. If there's any questions, I'm happy to go into further detail on the specifics of the mitigation.
Any questions for Stephen before we go back to the site plan? No?
No, it sounds like you've covered the bases very well. Thank you, Steve.
Jack, you just go back to the colored site plan if you don't mind. Thank you. Just wanna point out the variances. Right, the front yard setback.
Greg, can you grab the mic when you're talking? Thank you.
So Peter, where's the line?
Just to the rear of the house.
It's right in here. Right, so a portion of the house is in the front yard setback. I can't see it on the color version.
So the zoning setback line at 60 feet is right here. That's interpreted as a front yard, a front.
It's named two front yards, corner lot.
Here's our 60-foot setback like that.
So the home, the walkway, the parking area, those are the three improvements that are within the front yard setback. Just wanted to point that out.
Question on that water service, are you gonna affect the water service for the swim club by any
No.
in any way?
We are not. Totally separate, opposite side of the street.
Okay. And
The road, the driveway.
And you should know that we're in conversations with the swim club about entering into an agreement that permits us to access, we already have ingress and egress rights over the right of way. There was little lack of clarity on whether we had the right to install a water line. So we have an easement agreement that we're like this close to finalizing with the swim club that allows us to install and maintain the water line on the right of way.
right, okay. And I had another question to do it right after.
I have a question, Mike, on the 280A variance, so is Chappaqua Swim Club a partner in that in any way? Are they associated with that? It's their right of way, it's a right of way that.
You mean do they have to consent to it?
Yeah.
No, if the right of way benefits the property, then I believe the applicant is eligible to make the 280A variance application itself.
And great question, I agree with the answer, and to elaborate, in your packet is a deed to the property, I think from the 1950s, that shows that, Mike's right, our property benefits from an easement of ingress and egress already over the right of way. So we have that legal right that was established back in the 1950s.
Because the property already had that right away?
Exactly.
Oh.
So we benefit from the right of way, the deed is in your packet, and the reason why we need the 280A is because the right of way is not shown on the town's official map. It is on the tax map, it's on county GIS, like it's on a couple of other documents, but it's not on the official map.
So with the 280A allowing you to use their driveway, are we gonna have any problems with the fire department access or emergency services access? Is the existing driveway suitable for the increase in possible problems there? Do we need any kind of approvals from them or?
Well, I don't know what the current, I don't know what the dimensional
There's already
requirements are.
4 homes that are serviced by the right of way, so, right, cause 280A is the 2 elements, right? Is it on the official map, and second, is it
Right.
suitably improved? We're not proposing, the planning board hasn't required any improvements to the right of way, we believe it's sufficiently paved and width to satisfy.
So you have 4 other residences?
Is it 4? I believe it's 4. 3?
4 other residents
plus the club.
that are using that entranceway? Right. Okay, that's for the record, that's a good thing.
Right.
Okay.
Plus the club.
Yeah, and the
You're
club.
not counting the club.
The club is the club. So you mentioned the planning board, have you been to the planning board? Are you finished with them or you need anything else from them?
So again, we're close, we have the public hearing next Wednesday night, and then we're hoping for a resolution by the end of the year at the December meeting. We've been before them, Mr. Chairman, for over the last year and a half now. We went away for a period of time because they didn't wanna continue their review until we came back with a DEC permit in hand. So we have a DEC
You have
permit,
that.
we have that. So this fall, we've really been moving along nicely with the planning board.
And what about the architectural board? Anything going on with them?
That will come soon enough, but the planning board love the design, hopefully you did too, it's definitely a cool kind of modern
It's
design
just like
for
the
the
old
site.
ones, actually.
What's that?
Just like the old ones.
Which is why I wanted to clarify at the beginning that we're not just relocating.
Yes. It's
So I have one concern.
Yeah, go on.
If you are not finished with the planning board and you're looking for a zoning variance, and Mike, you might wanna give us a little input with this. They're not finished with the planning board, they're looking for a zoning variance.
Right.
Is it better for us to grant the variance before the planning board issues their opinion, or should we condition our approval or denial, whatever it's gonna be, I'm not gonna make a prediction, on the planning board's ultimate decision to also, I mean, I don't wanna step on their feet, and I don't wanna create a problem later for the applicant, I wanna make sure we do this in the correct sequence so that when it's done, it's done.
Yeah, I don't see a reason why any granting the variance couldn't be conditioned on subject to the requisite approvals by the planning board.
Cause what I'm concerned about is if we were to grant and then the planning board throws a monkey wrench in the works, now you've got a variance on a piece of property that's not gonna be able to be developed the way they like it to be developed. And since the variance runs with the land in perpetuity, we don't wanna create a problem in the future. I don't see that happening, but it's not.
Yeah, and again, I totally appreciate the concern. We were careful not to come here until we were really comfortable with the planning board that the layout was essentially fixed. So we'd already done alternatives analysis and so forth, so we think we're good with the layout.
Yeah, but I think it's a good point Tony make. We just don't wanna step on anyone's toes on any of the boards.
Right, which is why I think conditioning it upon.
Well, I understand where you're coming from and let me tell you, the house that's on the road now, you guys are doing a great job. The pictures make it look good. Go there in person, it's really a eyesore for the neighborhood, it's terrible. It's something needed to be done for that thing for years, so I give you kudos on that regard. But at the same token, I wanna protect us, as our board, I wanna protect the planning board, I wanna protect the applicant. So whatever we do here tonight, I think should be conditioned upon the planning board's ultimate approval.
Absolutely, as well as frankly, DOH, we still have to go back to them. DOH said they're last in line. DOH didn't even wanna talk to us until we had all the town approvals in place. So
That's always a problem.
Yeah.
So you go in Putnam County, you can't even talk about a building permit until you get a board of health approval. Because without that, you can't do anything, so.
Yeah, and I think a conditional approval wouldn't create the situation you described where you'd have a variance that runs with the land because it was if the condition's not satisfied.
Right, I'm looking for our protection and without putting an undue hardship on the applicant either.
And another condition, if there are material changes at the planning board, we have to come back.
Oh, we'd like to see you, but we don't want that to happen.
Just put me last again, cause this was great, I got so much work done that first hour, that was terrific.
The other thing too is I just would wanna make sure, I know you talked about there's a water system issue that has to be worked out with respect to the right of way agreement. I mean, that should be squared away also.
Yeah.
Or just making conditional on that as well. We gotta write a review of that document because I don't want,
But wouldn't that potentially be in the context of the planning board approval?
yes, so I guess if you,
Yeah, I
if
mean,
they're fine with
I think
it, we're
that
fine.
covers, I think that
If the
covers it.
planning board gives their final approval, all that will be
Right.
encompassed
It'll
in
be
their,
fully built.
it's their building, Rick, it's not ours, you know. Any other comments, any concerns, comments, questions?
Just so I'm clear, all of the variances are related to the yards so that the house can be placed, so it's bothering the wetlands
Yeah,
police,
this is
but everything
all,
else
this is all DEC wetlands down here, the green, this is all buffer, so we wanted to, and the existing house is over here. We wanted to try to push everything back to this area of the site as far forward this way as we could. Here's the septic, Peter pointed out the stormwater, so here's the setback line.
Yep.
The black, and so everything is kind of tucked close to the right of way and hence the setback and front yard variances. Right, if we wanted to comply, and everything comes pulled back farther this way, now it's greater disturbance into the buffer and closer to the wetlands themselves.
Anybody else?
Wish this had been the first one tonight.
Because.
Well, this is complex.
All right, is there anybody in the audience, obviously no, anybody online that would like to address this application?
No hands are raised.
No hands are raised, everybody's satisfied?
All good.
I'll move we close the public hearing.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
You wanna do it, or?
I don't care, you're the chairman, you should probably do this.
Mr. Chairman, whether before you start or at the end, I am gonna wanna talk about the construction start time. I know that's always a condition of your approval, so we can do it up front or at the end, but I wanted to kind of
We
discuss
usually
that.
do it at the end, but
That's fine.
we're gonna be a little more flexible because I know you're not finished
Exactly.
with other paperwork and other approvals, et cetera, et cetera. So we're not gonna be as hard-nosed as somebody that's not in your position, okay? So I will make a motion, that the application of Block Capital LP for the construction of a new home requiring front yard setback variance of 30 feet. House required front yard setback of 35 feet variance for for the walkway and the steps and the parking area setback. Also, what is this one for? Required front yard setback for, that's the parking area, okay. Good, for parking area. Also requiring a 280A variance for access to the property that is not on a town road. And all these variances listed, I'm making a motion that we approve them as listed for the following reasons. First and foremost, the existing house, non-conforming, I'll call it a house, on the property is going to be demolished, which is in dire need. It should have been done years ago, and I thank them for doing that. It's an eyesore to the neighborhood and it's a danger to the community being so close to the road. The new location for the proposed residence will be in a much more convenient location for egress and entrance and exits, for site conditions, and let me see here. The applicant has already gotten approvals, wetlands approvals, was the other one, DOC? You got-
The DEC wetland permit we already have.
Already. They have not gotten final approval from the planning board, so we're gonna condition our variance approval on the approval of the planning board. let's see.
We wanna say final approval of the planning board.
And we need the final approval of the planning board, and we need, what do we need, one other thing?
DOH.
Health,
Department of Health approval, that's your last step. We'll have to condition it on that too, and I'm sure you don't mind. So we'll
Don't mind at
condition
all.
on the Department of Health approval as well. The granting of these variances in total will not create an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood. There is no other way to achieve the desired end of the applicant other than granting these variances. There have been no neighbors written or voiced opposition to this variance request. There have been no sorry about that. I lost my list.
You did this list?
Yeah, I need that. My mind is shot today.
Tired too.
The benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by any other method other than granting the variances. While some of these variances could be considered to be substantial in the context of the location, the neighborhood, and the existing conditions, that substantiality should not be taken into consideration. There'll be no adverse effect on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. These variances could be well considered to be self-created, but again, the benefit to the applicant will far outweigh any perceived detriment to the town or the neighborhood itself. We're gonna grant this variance with the stipulation that you have 6 months to start, 1 year to finish after you have all your approvals in order and your building permit approvals done in order. Do you need more time? If you're gonna start with a clean slate, no more boards, no more approvals, no more permits, can you do this thing in a year and a half?
So the construction perhaps, but the 6 months to start, that's the issue, because we may not get DOH approval
Right.
until sometime
Winter
like
or
late
something,
spring, early summer next year, we just don't know, right? Cause let's say we wrap up with the planning board in December, then we're gonna spend Q1, Q2 next year probably wrapping up with DOH.
Okay, that's totally understandable.
So we were thinking frankly, starting construction like 18 months from now, because we get DOH next summer, that gives us then a year from the DOH approval. A year would be great, we can come back for extension if necessary, but we were thinking either a year or 18 months respectfully for
So I'm willing to say, how about a year to start and a year to finish?
that's
2 years.
That gives you a 2-year window to get
We can always come back for extension,
the whole
it's fine.
project done. You know, and
Right, we wouldn't have a problem.
we don't, we're usually pretty liberal on extensions,
Yes,
as
you
you
are.
well know.
Yes, you are.
And if it's a reasonable request, we're never gonna deny you. We just need to set some kind of parameter so that we know it's gonna, we don't want a project languishing for 5 years and never getting finished. That's not fair to the neighborhood or to anybody.
Understood.
So we wanna give you a reasonable time, but we also wanna make it beneficial to the town and the community.
1 year, 1 year
So
works.
I'm gonna move for 1 year, 1 year.
Perfect.
If anybody else has a question
I'm good.
about that,
All
let me
good.
know.
Okay.
You're gonna need foundation surveys and before framing and the whole 9 yards, which I'm sure is in your packet for your building permit.
Yes, sir.
Do we
Thank
need to
you.
list them?
Don't need to.
Don't need to list them, okay.
Okay, so
In that case, that's my motion. It's
I'll
bad as
second
it
the
is.
motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Thank you, Mike.
Aye.
You have your variance.
Thank you very much.
Good luck with your rest of your project.
Perfect.
A very
Good
well
night.
put together package.
Yeah, good job, Brad.
Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Brad, nice seeing you. Thank you. Peter, thank you. We'll talk soon.
Okay, we have approval of the minutes of the September 25th, 2024 meeting. I make the motion that they're approved.
I second the motion.
Chairman Giordina.
Aye.
Mike Nolan.
Aye.
Ron Genzeg.
Aye.
Warren Gottlieb.
Aye.
Kathleen Darazan.
Aye.
Before we end the meeting tonight, I just wanna make a comment to the public that I want everybody to enjoy their constitutional right and their civic duty and do not forget to vote. Thank you all.
Second the motion.
Adjournment's in order. Move we adjourn.
I second.